Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I've got a best of one game. It is between AriaPrime, the blue Terran player in the top right, and roxkisLZ, who is the purple Zerg in the lower left. That means you've got a TVZ. The map is in Tomb Valley. It is cross spawn position but not forced, so well, I'm looking forward to how this map will go down. I do think, if really I have to say if it's favouring either, it does favour the Terran, purely because of the third base being a little bit awkward for Zerg and these two very separate attack routes in. But being in cross spawn positions, it's not such an influencing factor. So we'll wait and see how this all goes down. But for the moment, it's looking to be shaping up good. Should see some drop play just due to a little bit of dead space, especially towards the third base. We should see some drops into there and also into the natural. In terms of build order, definitely going to be command center first. Reason I know that is just because the supply depot is in the main base, which means you're going to drop a command center first, which is a very, very viable strategy against Zerg at the moment. Obviously LZ going to go for a 15 hatch 16 pool almost certainly. Then he's got a choice of doing some 2 base pressure, which actually on Tomb Valley wouldn't be a bad idea, or taking his third very quickly. Obviously if he takes the third, head-ins could become a problem just because you can't quickly resupply and get the defense both the natural and third easily, but we'll wait and see how that plays out. For the moment though, wow, I was wrong. We're going to have a double racks, so 2 racks opening, but they are rallied to the wrong point. If you're going to do a 2 racks, dear gosh, do check where your opponent is. It would be a very, very wise move to make this more effective. So just kind of running out there of really adjectives to use other than please scout where your opponent is, because otherwise you could run into some problems. Now obviously a 2 racks opening is strong against Zerg because as you can see the spawning pool only just coming down. The SCV is going to go out and scout, thank goodness, so we'll now see that there's nothing there at all. And that then means that, well, there's going to be an awful lot of Marines heading towards this natural base, and it could become very, very difficult for LZ to defend this. He needs to throw down a spine crawler, get a good number of Zerglings out, but here come everything, and, well, they're going towards the cross-spawn positions at the moment. We'll see that there's no creep, and AriaPrime is now completely aware of where his opponent is. If we look here, we do, of course, have that drone coming out, which is going to scout the inevitable, which is a Marine and an SCV coming over, and that is going to be the moment where LZ is going to be thinking, oh dear. Now if you do ever get in this situation on a ladder, make sure that what you do is you don't panic. That's the most important thing. As you can see, we've got 4 Zerglings coming down, we've got the spine crawler coming down. You know how to deal with this, guys. A second spine crawler coming down as well, all the drones getting pulled. You do have to play this quite aggressively because your opponent doesn't have anything to deal with. A lot of SCVs being pulled though by the Terran as well. This is a real all-in right now, and this is turning out to be pretty funky. The drones unable to focus down the SCV building the bunker, but that doesn't matter because there's a lot more on the way. So really it's just a case of the Zerglings and the drones trying to push all of this back. The bunker is delayed in its production, but so many drones getting killed right now. The Marines need to get focused. That is probably the best thing. The 2 spine crawlers do at last finish, which of course now mean that bunker will die exceptionally quickly. So this is a good defense, apart from the fact that the Zerg player has lost all but 6 of his drones. So did he overcommit? We'll wait and see. But obviously he does have his natural base up, which is all well and good. Those Marines are going to have a bit of a tough time pushing through, and of course the Terran went for a very, very aggressive opening, and transitioning out of that could be tough. He doesn't have enough money for a command center, which should be the next thing on his to-build list. Drop down that command center ASAP. Keep the aggression going because that's really your only option, but get that command center really quick to try and catch up and really get ahead economically, because as you can see, it is already in a good spot. But due to the way Zerg mechanics work, obviously those lava injects could become very, very helpful. Those spine crawlers slowly nudging forward, just trying to get in a position where they can defend the main and natural from those Marines. The Queen there as well. Obviously, this is now turning into a point where AriaPrime can't really push into it, because the 2 Queen spine crawler and Zerglings would need an awful lot of Marines to take that down cost effectively. So I think it's the right move, just working to contain now, staying in the natural. Keep the threat of pressure on. The threat of pressure is almost as effective as the pressure itself, because you hope that it will force the Zerg player to build quite a few Zerglings, as you can see here. Throw down too many defenses, leave the Queen forward. If we look at the work account, we've seen AriaPrime staying ahead for quite a while and now getting a 3rd command center. I love this transition. It is absolutely amazing because, well, basically you've got you've got the early units, you've got the early pressure prevention in terms of a lot of Marines, and now you're just getting stupidly ahead in terms of the economy. You've done good economic damage as well. This is where you really got to think. If you've got to transition out of something, it's not cheese, it's just early game aggression and hyper aggression. That's what you should always be thinking. How do you transition out of it? If you do want to play this sort of style, and how does that help me in the mid and late game? And that is exactly what Aria is doing. He's thinking, well, my early game was all about aggression, so my kind of early mid game needs to be all about getting good economy and utilizing that pressure I got early on. And as you can see, the work account finally getting back to the Zerg's favor, but in terms of income, AriaPrime and the Terran has had so much more money to throw around. Obviously, with the tech lab down there now getting up a reactor and the factory, so you should see some Hellions come out. Marine Hellion can be very, very strong against this sort of composition because the Zerg players' tech going to be heavily, heavily delayed. We do have the double gas just being chucked down now for LZ, but obviously the Marines can focus down those spine crawlers. The Hellions great against any Zerglings out there. We do have the third orbital command morphing already. That's going to put the Terran a base up. So everything is really where the Terran would like it to be, in my opinion, right now. And I can't really fault his playstyle. The one thing I'd say LZ did is perhaps overcommitted to the defense. And that's what's put him in a tough spot, is he lost too many workers. Getting down to 6 workers, you've got a lot to come back from that, especially if your opponent has been still producing workers behind the push. We do now have the double Evo chamber coming down, and that again is going to form a nice little wall off. That barrack can move should there be any problems later on. We've got the mules mining, we've got the third base of mining, we've got a marine there, and well, obviously these rocks getting taken out. The rest of the Marines are moving back, just trying to get a quick entrance to that third base, and we will now most likely see AriaPrime start getting up a lot of SCVs very, very quickly, maybe even overtaking the Zerg player, because really the Zerg won't go much higher than 46. He's maxed out on 2 bases, he can't get any more, so he needs to take that third base as quickly as possible, but that's going to cause problems because of the amount of aggression early on. Now, looking here, obviously, we do have Lair coming down. It could be some kind of 2-base Lair timing push, 2-base muters, for example. But the Baning Nest suggests that maybe it's just going to be big Ling Bling play. That's also a possibility. These Marines and Hellions are going to get very strong with the double upgrades on their way out. If we look at the work count, 41 to 47, when you factor in 3 mules, that should put the Terran ahead in terms of the mineral income, and indeed it does. And well, as a result, I'd say this game is really in a good spot for the Terran. In terms of the resources lost as well, that's always an important one, is the Zerg players lost a lot more resources, and a lot of those have been workers. Double the workers killed this match from really that initial aggression. The Hellions doing a great job of annoying the Zerglings, getting some free kills, not costing anything. This third base, if it gets cancelled, LZ is going to be in an absolutely traumatic place. He's going to be like the guy who broke his back and then had a heart attack. That is how bad it is going to be for him. Should that third base get picked off, because obviously his opponent has got those 3 bases up really, really quick, and this is now shaping up to be so nice for the Terran. And we do see here the tech lab coming down on that factory, so transitioning much more into probably tanks is the most likely thing. But this push, well, this push could flat out end the game, because in terms of tech, there's only Zerglings on the field. The 1-1 upgrades will be done for those Zerglings before the push hits. A lot of Banings morphing in, but still, look at the work count difference. The Terran now ahead in terms of workers, with mules as well. That's crazy. Is a base up. This third base, if it gets sniped off by the Terran, that is just going to be amazing for him. He'll be in such a great spot. It'll be absolutely insane. The 2 spine crawlers and queens still doing a good job of the defense. The creep spread, not amazing. That's again just due to the fact that there are only 2 queens. There's a third queen somewhere, but it's not spreading creep much, quite surprisingly. The third base is now up and running though. Looking here, we've got the supply depot wall off, the third base still going nicely. We've got the first tank out. Siege mode hasn't been started yet. I'm quite surprised at that. Usually that's very, very quick on the to-do list. But the third base is going to start seeing the aggression. In come all of the Banelings, Zerglings, and Roaches, though. Will the Terran player just choose to focus down the hatchery? And it appears so. And I think that is exactly the right move, is we want to focus down that hatchery. But of course, the Banelings will prevent you being able to do that, because you've got to spread your units, because otherwise one big Baneling here can ruin your day. But what a miracle pickup right there. That is really putting an end to all of that aggression. But that hatchery dangerously low on health. In terms of the loss tab, the Terran has now lost more, but he's in a good defense position. The tank's up. Siege mode, though, not there. That could cause a problem. LZ could come for a miracle counter push right now. And with what is going to be a lot of Banelings, as you can see, morphing in here, this wall-off is not going to last long. With no siege mode, those Banelings are going to be absolutely devastating. The push wasn't that strong. The Roaches are there, and well, the resupply is just constantly coming, and LZ, in what would be an absolutely insane turnaround of this match, is just going to go for it. And, well, this damage is going to be absolutely monstrous. The Banelings heading straight for the SCVs, who are all hugging the Banelings. That is a massive mistake right there from AriaPrime. You want to run those SCVs away, but the push would be too much anyway, I fear. And, well, we may just see the GG right now. The tank should get focused down. The lack of siege mode is really what hurt that push. Maybe a bit too aggressive with trying to pick off that third base, but as you can see, the worker count now dwindling for the Terran. The Zerg player has his third base up and running, and, well, the reinforcements streaming across the map right now. LZ's tasted blood, and he knows that he can win this. More SCVs from the main being pulled, and once you see SCVs from every base being pulled to try and deal with a push, you know things aren't looking too positively. The 1-1 upgrades, of course, very, very helpful. Those 2 Marines and Marauder doing a good job trying to deal with as much as they can, but the Roaches are starting to pick away at it. We do have a lot more units, 22 more Banelings morphing in, and they're just going to punch through the front door. The Mule's getting cooled down, trying to deal with this as fast as possible. But where is LZ going to go? Are you going to go to the third or the natural? The choice is yours. Pick wisely. The tank is now done, but of course without the plus. Oh, it does have +1 vehicle weapons. I didn't notice that go down. Of course, that tank needs to get focused off very, very quickly. But there's just so much stuff here right now that those Banelings absolutely going to be disastrous in this mineral line. So many SCVs on such low health. Zerglings going to town at the third base. The worker count still getting lower, and this is a counterattack to end like all counterattacks. It was brilliant. Considering that LZ at the start of the game was knocked down to just 6 workers, this is getting pretty insane. This match doesn't look like it's ever going to end at this stage, with both players doing absolutely miracle comebacks. So, and defenses as well out of AriaPrime. Looking in terms of tech though, obviously the tanks are really squeezing out. A lot of Marines getting out the +3. Infantry armor on its way. No infantry weapons level 3 yet. The 1-1 upgrades are done. 2-2 upgrades for the Zerglings on their way. We've got more drones coming out. 67 to 33 workers in favor of the Zerg. So this is just, well, pretty nuts. AriaPrime is just like, you're going to attack me? I'm going to attack you, bro. See how you like counterattacks. They're not fun. I've just learned the hard way, and my concern is that without any tanks really in this mix, because there's only 1 tank on the field as far as I can see, this could struggle. It's real typical Marine Marauder medevac, but there's a lot of stuff coming in, and this is a huge Zergling counterattack. That could end the game just with the sheer amount of damage it's going to be able to do. But will the supply depots be able to get up in time? It would appear that they won't, and that is going to be absolutely disastrous. Those Zerglings running straight into the third, picking off quite a lot of damage. Meanwhile though, we do have the Infestors coming in to try and deal with this push. Some fungal growth do manage to go off, but the push is still able to continue. Everything cleaned up at the third base of the Terran player. The chain fungals are going down nicely. Quite a lot of that infantry getting cleaned out. Just a handful of things there. Those 24 Zerglings now in production will be able to finish it all off. Another good fungal growth will clear out pretty much everything. The medevacs, if they got picked off, that would be a big win as well, because obviously medevacs take quite a long time to get up. The hive coming down, the macro hatch coming down. Seriously guys, this game is bonkers. It's absolutely crazy watching this go down. I don't know how to call it anymore. LZ does seem like he's ahead, but he's lost his 4th base attempt, so what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments right this second. Pause the video. What do you think? Who's going to win? Let me know who you think is going to win, and then when you come back, which is hopefully now, then, well, we'll see whether you're right. I don't know. I just don't know right now. Another Zergling counterattack getting queued up, going around the back. Just great use of all the different paths and passages on this map by LZ. This is crazy games right now. The wall-off is down. Oh my god, this is sick. The tank's moving forward. There's literally no defense of the Terran base. The wall-off doesn't go up in time, but is there enough to defend this? Well, there's a lot of Banelings, a lot of Zerglings. The 2-2 upgrades are done, but the +3 Terran infantry armor about to be there. Meanwhile, those Zerglings going absolutely crazy. They've killed so many workers now. 49 workers killed. That takes, well, not a huge number of difference, but quite significant still. We've got those fungal growths going down. The Banelings rolling in, getting big damage to all of this infantry. So many Marines getting taken out here, and of course the Marauders are the last thing standing. Another fungal growth goes off. The infested Terrans are there to start picking off their medevacs, and well, that was LZ clearing up the push very, very nicely indeed, and probably a missed rally point here. You don't want to rally just so few units over. The 2 tanks are sieged up, but to be honest, LZ going to be able to get up his 4th base now. He's got his hive done. He's getting this ultra cavern, so To be honest, he's getting into tier 3 once that starts coming out. The fungal growth with the ultras. Ultra Baneling Infestor is so strong against Terran, it's crazy. The only thing that really stops it is huge numbers of siege tanks, which of course LZ knows AriaPrime does not have because he's killed so many of them. And it just is not going to go down. Meanwhile, we've got one Zergling happily chilling inside the third base. We've got more Zerglings streaming across the map, starting to pick off those reinforcements. Are they going to get there in time? The wall-off goes down, up rather. That is a good move, but the fourth base is getting taken out. The tanks are sieged up in a nice spot. We do see units here. The fourth base of LZ has been taken out. This match is just literally cutthroat. Both players doing everything they can. Lots of Zerglings coming in. No real reinforcements there. That tank needs to siege up ASAP to prevent those Zerglings getting in. More SCVs being pulled, trying to repair this wall off as fast as possible. Meanwhile, outside the third base of LZ, those tanks and marines are moving forward. The infestors are there, but they do not have energy for fungal growth, so instead just going to go and say hi and die. But that is fine because, well, LZ has got a lot of reinforcements coming in now. He's getting a good surround on the tanks, picking them off quickly. They should always be your focus with the Zerglings. The Banelings really connecting well with the infantry, and LZ has once again annihilated that push. He has lost about 2,000 more resources than his opponent, though, so needs to be careful of that. Taking a hidden expansion, that is genius. That is just such a great move. Looking around though, this is just tense. I don't know which way to call this. The medevac's finally going back. We do have, well, the main base mine down, the natural getting very low. The same story can be sung for AriaPrime, the Terran of this match. He's getting low on the minerals both places, but he does not have a hidden fourth base. And a hidden fourth base, well, a hidden any number of base can be very strong indeed. The Zerglings doing some damage. Will they get spotted? Because if they do, that's going to be quite a few free kills for AriaPrime. If it's not spotted, it's going to be a very, very nice surround. LZ suiciding them overlords in. That is never fun. The ultras are out though, and if it's a good attack angle, then to be honest, LZ should be able to win this. The Banelings going for the tanks. A good fungal growth allows the ultralists to get in position. The infestors getting the fungal growths off absolutely everywhere. Some infested Terrans getting lobbed down as well. We should have another fungal growth somewhere on those. I only saw 3 go down, but apparently I was mistaken, or the infestor with energy died. Now, looking here, we do of course have one more fungal. There we go. And, well, that ultra is going to start doing some damage, but is taking huge damage as well. The armor upgrade only just clicking in now in effect for those ultras, which does of course now mean they are 5-3 upgraded ultralisks. They do such big damage, and the Terran is forced back yet again. No counterattack this time with Zerglings, which I've got to say, at this point of the map, that's disappointing. But this game, which looked like it could have ended in the first few minutes, has carried on to be one massive slugfest in terms of blows being thrown at each other. So aggressive from both players. But I have to say, the supply advantage goes in AriaPrime's favour, but the tech advantage definitely there for roxkisLZ. And, well, I still don't know which way to call this match. It is completely crazy. This fourth base is such a real deal breaker. One marine, if that marine goes and scouts that out, that would be like the end of LZ's world. He'd just be like, no, it's going to go up to the other base, not looking quite where it should be. That is so much luck slash just chance, but it could make break the difference to this game right now. Looking at the work count, 63 to 54. Is this army gonna find that base? The Zerglings coming round, they're gonna walk straight in. The marine going up. Is the marine gonna see it? Yes, the marine spots the fourth base, and well, now we could see some absolutely massive problems because of course the creep was there, but the Zerglings are running in. They're doing some damage. The wall-off is up, but only 3 Zerglings able to get in, but they are, of course, 3-3 Zerglings, so they do damage like no one understands. And, well, looking here, AriaPrime looks like he's starting to take the advantage now. He looks like it. Adrenal glands is, of course, research for those Zerglings, though. 3-3 upgrades done as well for the Terran, as well as the +2 weapons. We do have a small number of units here, just ready to try and deal damage. Meanwhile, the Terran moving through the center of the base. That fourth hidden base is taking big damage right now. We've got a lot of Marines moving over. Meanwhile, fungal growth in the center of the map. The tanks aren't sieged up. That could be a problem for him, but the Ultras are getting cleaned out, and LZ just does not seem to have the momentum, whereas Aria does, and there is the well played from LZ. My goodness, that game was awesome. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy it, then please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. Did you expect AriaPrime to win that game? Yes, no, maybe. Follow me on Twitter and, well, subscribe. I get new games up daily, and I will see you tomorrow for yet another new cast. But most importantly, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.